by the way, we're still workshopping. Damn, three-piece. Fritzy gave us that story of buying a three-piece suit, going to a party, and you bought it somewhere in Los Angeles.
Yeah, around Laguna Beach.
Yeah.
And, this woman.
Because that's where people go for three-piece suits.
There you go.
Usually Laguna Beach. Yeah.
And I tried this on, and she sold me, this woman that was working there, oh, you got to get this, and it was very expensive.
But we got together last night at Big Dean's in Santa Monica, and it was sort of a impromptu get-together. We had some people who were there, and it felt like you had to have the password to get into the party. And the password was, damn, three-piece. And a couple of our listeners came in, and that's what they had to say. Gus in Los Angeles, who's a faithful listener, he lost his shower of shame, and he showed up. He had a pail full of honey.
Walking around the beach.
Yes.
Looked like a maniac.
So I'm walking over to Big Dean's in Santa Monica, and then I see this guy, and he's got a bucket. And he goes, Mr. Patrick, I'm Gus. And I'm going, you're Gus? And he goes, yeah. And he's a bodyguard, security guard, and he had a pail of honey that he spent $42 on. And I'm pouring, if you're watching now on Peacock, I'm pouring the honey over his head. And it looks like I'm going in slow motion, but that's just how slow the honey was coming out. And then we took a pail full of sand and poured that on him as well. But great sport, paid up. And we went inside, and as soon as you walk inside, there were two couples right at the door, and they're outside in the beer garden area there, and one woman had Fritzy's face on her T-shirt.
Which is like a green light to Todd.
And had a limerick on the back of the shirt, and I go, oh, this poor woman has no idea what's coming her way. Well, a couple hours later, we had to pull Fritzy out of Big Dean's in Santa Monica. At one point, we had the big German took the caravan, everybody going back. And Fritzy goes, no, I'm going to stay.
And normally I would totally jump on the first car back because a lot of times I don't even leave the hotel room.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden I'm waiting for a second car later.
But Fritzy is chatting up. At one point, Paulie took a picture of Fritzy talking to 5 different women.
It was like Hugh Hefner is hanging out with us.
Yeah. Yeah, the picture right now that we're showing. So Fritzy is there holding court.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah. And I don't know if any of those, some of those women had no idea who you were.
A couple of them at least pretended to be interested in what I had to say. I mean, when I started asking them all kinds of questions. One had a Valley Girl it was 2 sisters. The older sister was like, I don't understand what's going on here. It's like, does she have some kind of sport? Why does she have your face on her shirt? Are you famous? What is this?
But how did it end there with her?
I just ended up talking to her younger sister because she was more personal. She was kind of giving me the stink eye, the older one. She wasn't very with the one with the Valley Girl voice. She like, what am I doing here? The younger sister was like selling sake. She's starting a new company. She works with the Rams, and she was very cool to talk to. But her sisters just kind of ruined it a little bit because she just had this look like you talk sports for like 3 full hours a day. There's like one football game. How do you talk about that so long? Well, I have a ticket to the game. I don't even know if I'm going. You want it? You can go. Well, you probably have a media pass or something. You probably get it. Anyway.
Then I think at one point the woman reminded Fritzy that the woman you're talking to was like 3 years older than your daughter.
You have a son that's 19, a sophomore at Syracuse. He's like 2 years younger than me. You know that. I'm not saying you're trying to hit on me, but your son is 2 years younger than me. That's a little creepy.
Didn't she ask how old you are?
Yeah, you must be like 40. She said it like 80. You might as well have said you must be like going to be 88 in September. I'm like, wow, I'm 12 years older than the number you just threw out as if that was really old.
It didn't stop you, though.
I just graduated from Michigan. This is a little weird. I think we're talking to each other too long.
So that's what we had last night with Fritzy. We all the Danettes, everybody went back. It was just Fritzy who was there all by himself.
I told you I have a boyfriend. I'm not trying to hit on you. We're just talking. He's coming, right? He's coming. He works out. He lifts weights. He's supposed to pick me up in a few minutes.
He lifts weights.
He's like a bodybuilder. So just letting you know if you think if this gets a little sideways.
A little sideways.
I see the way you're looking at me. We're like engaged. Just look at it.
Are you?
I'm not giving you my number.
Are you embellishing?
Slightly. Not a lot, though. Not as much as you might think. I'm not going to Facebook Messenger you at 2 o'clock in the morning. You're married like 50 years, probably, if you have 19 and 60-year-old children. You must be 70.
And I'm going to tell the audience, it's all true. It's all true. That was Fritzy on display, and that you were entertaining the crowd last night.
I had a good time.
Yeah. Yes, Paulie.
And the backroom guys, which are almost all single guys, are standing at the bar like Muhammad, Sidney, Jagdesh, and Animal House sitting there with no girls anywhere. And they're looking at Todd like, how's he doing this?
Yeah.
He's got 5 girls. They're like, there's a line to talk to Todd.
Well, you're not hearing the actual conversation. If you heard the conversation, you're like, no, it wasn't as pretty. It's like, wow, they really were digging him. They were trying to guess my age, like the gray hair and the balding and the overweight.
But
you could be my grandfather.
The backroom guys are there. They're single, and they got no run at all. You were hoarding. You were.
I was. And
You're
I should have
not a team player.
Not a team player. And I'm married, and I'm like supposedly 60 years older than these girls. So why am I talking to them in the first place?
I didn't do it.
You're looking at me funny. You're creeping me out. Talk to my sister. She's younger than me.
This may be the greatest picture in Dan Patrick Show history. This summarizes Todd Fritz's night last night. I have permission to put this up. There's Todd, bottom right, ignoring 2 of the girls that he's already spent an hour with, and moving on to the 2 new girls who showed up halfway through the night.
I did make the rounds. I'm very conversational.
Dan, I'll let
They
you
were very
take it
nice.
from here.
I have it on good authority that Todd was very difficult in leaving the bar last night.
I know he left after I
Well,
did.
first of all, normally I don't go out ever. So they got to factor that in. And then there was an early vehicle that went back to the hotel, and I passed on that one
Of course you did.
to get back later. And I have sleep apnea and sleep issues, so whenever I do get back, it could be 2 hours.
You
before I
have
actually
other
fall asleep.
issues.
You
do.
didn't have any issues
I
there.
did. I was enjoying myself. It was nice. I was like trying to like relive the old days, see if I still had my jam, my conversation
jam.
going, my thing.
Your rap.
My rap.
Did you?
I think I did, or unless they were pretending. They seemed to be engaged. They didn't walk away. There was no need for. I didn't have them strapped down where they couldn't escape or something like that. We were talking to each other. They had there were exits and there was different ways you can get out if it came to that. No, they didn't do the anyway to get or the yawn or you call me and say there's an emergency. So, oh, I have to go.
There
My
was this one
boyfriend's
woman
late.
that was there early last night that Todd somehow posted up next to for like 45 minutes, was talking, and she was doing the
Is this the woman in the UCLA
Yes.
t-shirt?
Is someone
Yes,
gonna
it
come
was.
help me here? It's like this dude.
I
How
guess I was
about
talking
just
to
a
Joe.
hi and nice to meet you?
And the tip, which I didn't pick up, I went right through the stop sign. Not that I was trying to pick her up. I'm married, but she's like, so my husband. She kept referring to her husband. So when they tell you about the boyfriend of the husband, it's like they're letting you know whatever you think's happening here. I have a boyfriend. Is my husband coming? I think he just went to get us a drink. Okay, we're just talking.
There's Dylan doing a drive-by.
He's single.
I know.
Sons
He
and
can't
four.
get any
Nobody was interested in Dylan, the graphics guy.
And he had one of our Dan Patrick Show shirts on. He had the Suns thing in 4.
Oh, he
Suns
was
in 4.
crying out. He was crying out to notice me.
There it
Hat
is.
backwards. I'm cool. He had the whole thing going.